We met like a
Recording
few
in
times
progress.
at West Side.
I was with you on John Oliver Day.
I'm John. Oh, yeah, you were there on that night. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's save it because I have a thought on that too. Let's hit it. So
Okay.
I'm going to read through a few things. Let me monologue for a minute, and the reason why I forced a guest to listen to the monologue is so they get the vibe of the show, and I think there's something we could all learn from you. Deal?
Sounds good. How long do you go for, by the way? Just curious.
We'll talk for 30 minutes and aim for a 20-minute. The perfect show is 18 to 20 minutes.
Perfect.
If it
All
goes
right.
long, it's because I am too shy about editing.
I love that length with podcasts. That's brilliant.
Yeah, we'll see. People love my short length. Here we go. My name is Tom Kelly. I'm a stand-up comedian who has been on The View, Good Morning American, Reels, and a whole bunch of other networks, podcasts, and things like that. Here at the Tom Kelly Show, we're elevating lives. We're making people laugh. Think of me as inappropriate Oprah, but instead of giving out cars, I'm giving out I was going to say pills. I need more punchlines there. Anyway, new episodes Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays across the board. I am on social media as Tom Kelly Show. Also, I think we're going to have some TikTok friends here. So follow me, people. I need to boost my numbers there. But right now, let's start the show.
Tom Kelly Show. And where is that? I want it all to know.
Trigger warning, spoiler alert, do your best Howard Stern impersonation. You're listening to The Tom Kelly Show. Our guest today is Matt Friend, and I'm going to force him, like all my guests, to listen to me monologue a little bit about him. I've met him a few times at, I think, at least the West Side Comedy Club, maybe even Stand Up New York. And the guy's young, and as a 46-year-old, let's own my age for this. As a 46-year-old comic, when you see someone who's talented and 23, you kind of hate them. You just do. But you also, after you see them, you start to admire them. And when you see them and if they don't turn out to be a douchebag, which is the case with Matt Friend, you start to like them too. In Matt Friend's case, my friend David Brody, whom many of you have heard on this podcast before, of the Elvis Duran Show, David Brody sent me a text and said, hey, have you ever seen this guy, Matt Friend? He's done all these viral impersonations of celebrities, and he seems to like old school media, and we got to go see him. Be my guest at Caroline's, and we'll go see him. And normally I don't love seeing other comedians, but I'm trying to broaden my brain out. I'm trying to open myself up to doing things differently. And there was Matt Friend. And he told, I mean, listen, his TikTok is funny. The stand-up is funny. But what I found inspiring in his 40-something minute stand-up act was his story, which was he was a NYU student, a college, by the way, I dreamed of getting into. And then by the time I got into it, realized I couldn't afford it. But Matt got into NYU, and God bless, the last year and a half of my dream college got taken away from him because of COVID-19. Now, he could have just hid in New Jersey and, just did his schoolwork and then sent out the resume. And he'll clarify the points on this, but he took his gifted golden pipes and started doing TikToks while the rest of us were baking bread. And at 23, I think this kid has life together more than my nephews, and frankly, more than me at 23, and his networking skills more so than me at age 46. And that's why I have you on the damn show, Matt Friend. How are you today, man? Oh, good.
I am so great. Thanks for having me on the show.
So, I mean, the first thing you do, too, as a podcaster is wait till your guest is drinking, then ask him the first question.
I was mid-gulp.
So, listen.
Great to be here.
I'm in love with you already. You're known for a bunch of TikTok things. Let's start with, let's rope them in with, can you give me some Trump? And is that a dick thing to do to an impressionist?
Well, what I can tell you is it's not a dick thing. There's a lot of people, they ask me if I can do it. And what really annoys me is that there are so many people, they fail like dogs, and they try to do me, and it's disgusting how vocally inaccurate they are. I don't say a lot of the things they make me say. I don't make those noises, and it's frankly disgusting. You see, Tom Kelly, he's so look at his hair. He's a great guy. Look at his jacket, right? We love his denim, like looking like Jay Leno's garage. That's what he looks like. A smart guy. A smart guy. And then we go to Howard. All right. I mean, Jesus. I got to tell you, the thing about doing the Howard Stern is that there's a thing to the voice where you kind of have to start with Alan Alda, kind of go up here, and then you bring it down slightly. And that's where you get Howard. It's crazy. I know. It's unbelievable.
So it's funny. You're all Alan Alda. I said this to Brody during your show. I'm like, if Alan Alda were 25 years younger, this kid would be on Saturday Night Live right now.
Well, that's possible. Well, there's a lot of other actors that I do, so it's okay because it's called range, right? It's called range. And you do younger people, you do older people, and that's what it's about. So thank you very much, Andy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So now let's get back to you, my
Tell
friend,
me
Matt
when to
Friend.
get out of the Trump.
No. Yeah. Well,
Stop.
I feel like do you get trapped in the Trump?
I get trapped in the Trump. Yeah, and now my voice is a little hoarse. So I'm a little self-conscious because it's been such a crazy few days.
So let's get into Matt the person. Your comedy's all out there. I want to know you.
Yes.
2 years ago, pandemic starts. Who were you then, and where were you?
It's a great question. I have no idea. Where the hell was I?
Were you at NYU? You were in the dorms, right?
2 years ago, yes, I was 21, and I was at NYU. I was finishing my last semester of college at NYU, and then the pandemic. And I was really making a lot of progress, moving up through the comedy clubs, doing a lot of stand-up.
So you had started stand-up in college.
I had really started doing stand-up seriously in college.
Okay.
Yeah. I had dabbled with a little bit in high school, and I had done a lot of Second City stuff in high school because I grew up in Chicago. But then I really started to get serious about it in college. Yeah.
What clubs were you hitting in college?
I think the first show I ever did was maybe at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. It was like in front of 4 drunk people at like 12:45 on like a Tuesday or something.
Yeah, that's 3 more than usual. I see that.
Exactly. And then I really started with the comic strip early on with the Gladys open mic show.
Oh, good. Oh, you're a Gladys alum. I'm trying to get Gladys on the podcast.
Yes. She's the greatest, and I started with that. And then I would do some at Broadway Comedy Club with the residency, and then getting past there, the Gotham Comedy Club new talent shows.
So pandemic comes and it wipes that all away.
Pandemic comes, yeah. Well, I mean, it's crazy because just before the pandemic, I was in this talent search competition. Kenan Thompson from SNL did this talent search called Kenan Thompson's Ultimate Comedy Experience, where he would search for basically comedians would compete in different cities throughout the country to try to get a spot in this final showcase at Caroline's, where I just did my hour show at a few days ago, where you were kind enough to come to.
Right.
And then producers for the show saw me at Gotham Comedy Club, so it was kind of a fate thing. And
really,
then I went to the showcase and ended up winning it. And and Kenan brought me to SNL, and I've just been lucky to kind of maintain a relationship there. And he's the coolest guy ever. And we did a show in Vegas and in more in New York, Chicago. And then the pandemic hit, and it was crazy. I find myself at home, and then the big thing was TikTok and pivoting to social media. And that's just what's led to all these crazy opportunities. Like within the first couple of weeks of uploading, Sebastian Maniscalco showed my impression of him on Jimmy Kimmel. And then a couple weeks after that, that I was on the Today Show after the executive producer reached out, and I did a 7-minute interview with Hoda and Jenna. And that's led to all these other crazy opportunities.
So let's go slow, because let's go slow. Everybody else on earth is depressed, me included.
Yes.
The world, no, like for real, I'm sitting at home, and now for me, sitting at home is a little bit different because I didn't quite feel comfortable doing this in my childhood bedroom. Now, what made you, what gave you the strength to take that leap? Or was it just there was no stopping you? Do you have supportive parents? I feel like there's something different about, I mean, listen, you have God-given talent. We know you work hard. But I think the third thing you have that a lot of us are missing is, actually the third and fourth thing is brains and a little bit of motivation. Or, there's something that lit a fire under your ass.
Well, Tom, excuse me. Tom, stop the talking. I appreciate the kind words. You're a dog for saying that. If Matt Friend has no brains, frankly, he's disgusting.
Okay, shut up, Donald. Here's the deal. I appreciate that. I think it's just sort of like I think comedians have like a need to create. You know, I get maybe not. I mean,
Yeah.
at least I do. And I was just kind of sitting there, and I needed some sort of an outlet. I was used to performing in comedy clubs, and I needed some sort of an outlet. And I'm glad I did, because TikTok and social media has been making my career and has led to all these opportunities.
So I'm trying to get my ass on TikTok. I feel like TikTok is kind of like buying Bitcoin. Too late to buy in, buddy boy. Is it?
I don't know. I honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think all you can do is upload, and you have to upload consistently and make new ideas and just be creative and just start doing it, I think, is all you have to do, and not worry about if it's too late. You just have to do it, I think.
So you've had some celebrities, and like starting with Sebastian Maniscalco. Did you know he was going to talk about you on Kimmel that night?
I did not. And then the funny part was, he reviews my impression of me. He goes,
I give it a B-. Kid writes his own material. Got a Don Pardo announcer refill, so he's doing a good job.
and I'm like, okay, well, I love you, Sebastian, but what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And I was like devastated. But it was still very cool. And then 3 weeks later, I had no idea this was happening live on the air. He surprised me on the Today Show, and he comes on. He goes, "Kid's got a lot of hustle, a lot of talent, very funny guy." What? And
so wait, you were on the Today Show. So did he surprise you on the Today Show?
Yeah, I was on with Hoda and Jenna.
I love daytime. I friggin' love. I love that about daytime. You don't see that on Kimmel.
Insane.
You don't see that.
It was crazy.
So you're on.
I guess you don't.
So you're on Hoda and Jenna, and then he came out.
Yeah, I'm on Hoda and Jenna, and they're like, I was doing a bunch of impressions. I was doing Fauci and Goldblum and all Andy Cohen. Yeah, Andy Cohen, amazing. We love doing him. Yes. Well, and I was doing him, and then all of a sudden he comes on, and I thought that, and you can see it in the video because I hesitate. I thought it was just like a still shot of him, like they were showing the pictures of the people I do impressions of.
Oh my god!
But then he started to talk to me, and it was fucking crazy. It was the craziest thing ever. It was insane.
Wow. Well, I met you tonight. You met John Oliver.
Yes. That's
and I didn't realize, and I thought, let's go into this. So when I met you the night of the John Oliver thing, so I'm emceeing at the West Side Comedy Club.
Yes, you were emceeing.
Yes.
That's right.
So you go up, you kill. John Oliver was not in the room, if I remember.
Unfortunately, yes. I wish he was.
Well, I wonder, because let's go to the next step now. You did a John Oliver impersonation on stage. And and all of these people, I grew up in an age of television and celebrities where be afraid of the celebrity. They'll get you banned from the club. Don't ask for a picture with them. It's a risk. I mean, when I worked at NBC, I know you worked at The Tonight Show for a while. When I was there, it was you don't talk to anybody, keep your eyes down, and one day 100%. Maybe you'll be discovered somewhere else, but not here, buddy 100%. Boy. You now kill on stage. John Oliver comes up, he kills, and then I see John Oliver go upstairs, and I see you go upstairs. What happened?
Well, before I answer that, I do have to tell you, it's funny because it's true, because I was an intern at The Tonight Show, and the whole time I was an intern, I definitely did not talk to, like, the talent.
Is that still the rule? I mean, is that still the ethics?
Yeah, I mean, I was just getting coffees, and I was getting salads, and I would sneak in impressions to the camera guys. When I was in the studio.
Okay.
I would do a little Johnny Carson in the studio. Very fun.
Oh, my God. I need you to do that for me for an hour. That's spot on.
Much. I appreciate that enormously. Thank you. But then the John Oliver one, I had to do it. And I went up to John basically after our sets, and I was like, well, good. I said, John, like, I'm a big fan. I was wondering if I get maybe a quick video with you.
So at this point, he still has no idea you do him.
He has no idea I do him, and I had to ask for the video because I had gotten the Andy Cohen video like a week before this had happened. So I literally had all of these run-ins with Jeff Goldblum, Andy Cohen, and John Oliver within the span of like a couple of weeks. And and I go up to John and I'm like, well, good evening and welcome. My voice is a little hoarse. And welcome to Last Week Tonight on the Street. Yeah. Now, who better to do this with then? And John goes, honestly, it's not bloody bad.
So he had no idea that was coming when you did that.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then I go, honestly, it's not like that. And John says, or I say to John, so honestly, what do you think of this impression? And he's like, well, honestly, it's not bloody bad. It's the first time it's happened to me on the street, and I do rather hope it's the last. And I say to him, and I'm American too. Doesn't that make it even worse? And John's like, well, yeah, it does make it worse. You don't see me going around the street of New York going, oh, get the fuck over here. You know, who's walking here? I'm like, and one more thing. If you were Adam Driver, this would make this impression even more sexy. Thank you very much. And he couldn't have been nicer. And he laughed, and it was hilarious.
And he was cool, and West Side loved it.
Yeah, well,
Felicia and the gang at West Side loved it.
Yeah, because about 3 days later, Carson Daly showed it on the Today Show, and Entertainment Weekly picked it up, and all these things happen.
Right.
John Oliver meets his impressionist. It's not bloody bad. So it's kind of taking the shot, and then you're on the Today Show. It's crazy.
The cool thing about this podcast is I want to get to know Matt Friend, not the impersonations.
Yes.
Is that something you have a problem with? Like, do you have jokes you want to tell and not do a voice?
Absolutely. Don't talk to me as me. I'm kidding. No. I love talking to you as myself.
No, but like doing stand-up and stuff. Like, are there Matt Friend, oh, my parents are so tough and college was this? Or do you feel you have to do the impressions? Or is the impressions where you find your joy?
I love being an impressionist, but I'm also becoming a comedian. I am a comedian now, and which is a different thing. And I just did at Caroline's. I did an hour, and I was.
And that what you shot that as a special, right?
Yeah, and it was 59 minutes and 24 seconds. So I'm calling it an hour. We round up, yeah, we shot it, and there were a lot of impressions. There were stories, but there was also stand-up. I mean, there was stuff about me, kind of how I view myself. What I kind of talk about what I feel like it would like to be my neighbor or my roommate. I talk about kind of me in a high school, how I think I'm perceived a little bit, and that's something I'm working on, and I'm excited to do more.
How do you feel you are? How do you feel people perceive you, and how does that differ from who you think you are?
I don't know. I mean, I think it can depend on the context in which you're meeting me. I mean, I think people might sense some confidence. For sure. I don't want to. Yeah, I think confidence. I would say driven, focused. I mean, there's no other way to say this without sounding like kind of arrogant. I mean,
and that's what those are the qualities I'm trying to adopt in some ways.
Well, there you go. But it's fun. I mean, I had a joke on stage the other day because I was talking about one of the celebrity encounters I've had where I met Rami Malek, the actor, and I said the first story, I said I actually met him twice. First time I met Rami Malek, I was at the U.S. Open with my family. And you know I was at the U.S. Open with my family because look at me.
Yeah.
So
you look rich and white.
So,
yeah. For those of you listening to the audio version of this, Matt looks like good-looking rich white guy who owns a blazer. And actually, this is the first time I've ever seen him not in a blazer, but he's wearing a shacket. Next one. That room, when I saw you do your hour, first of all, it was beautiful to see you perform for your family. And even better was that room was filled with hot, attractive women. How many of them did you get phone numbers from?
You know, it's crazy. You know, you got to get the number. It's like a Howard. Matthew, let me ask you a question. You must have been banging like crazy. When you did that hour, there were all these women. They come up to you. What, you get the numbers? What do you do? Honest to God, no. I was not getting numbers, but a lot of people are following me on Instagram and social media. It was an honor to have such a beautiful fan base.
Yeah, you don't have a single ugly fan. Honestly, I might be your least attractive fan, and I'm including
Tom Kelly is the ugliest fan in the room. A lot of people are saying he is the face of a dog. He's like Rosie O'Donnell, and that's what I'll say.
And when you consider you had your grandparents there were a lot of elderly, and I was less attractive than them. I'd even bang the old people there.
I did it. It was funny because I had some family there, and it really worked out because one of my first impressions was my grandfather. He was there, and I had a bit in the show of we called it micro impressions, and I made 30 cue cards, and I wrote a celebrity doing an activity, and in the middle of it, I had Matthew's grandfather answering the phone. I thought it would be kind of I thought it'd be kind of Norm Macdonald-y because no one
Yeah.
would get it, and then like no one would laugh. And
Oh
that's
no,
why
that
it
was one of my
funny.
favorites. You know what's funny? That
But-
was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and then I go, hello, which is his voice, and then I go, wait a second, I want to verify the accuracy of this voice. We don't know if this is real. Papa, he's here tonight. Can you say hi to me? Matthew, hi. And we kind of did a little
Yeah.
back. Hi, yes. And it was a hilarious.
No, and what was funny about that and what I loved about that and what I think I'm going to see from you at some point is that was Matthew. You know?
Yes, that was me.
And like no one else can do that. And it was so perfect. And it also showed not just humor, but love that your grandpa was in the room. I don't know. That might be damn close to, I fell in love with you during those 59 minutes. And that, it might have been that at 53.
Well, I think that moment, and then also at the beginning of my show, I was like, I did some joke, and I heard a big woo,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, that's literally my mom. My mom just wooed me. I'm not a successful comedian. That was literally my mother. Like, I guess, yeah.
Your parents are very encouraging.
Yes, I'm lucky to have a very. I mean, I've kind of always known I was going to do this, and yeah, I'm lucky to have a very supportive friends and family.
All right, big ending here.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to Tom Kelly podcasts over the course of the next week, and I'm going to start doing you. So I'm going to come back on your
Deal,
show.
because you know what's
You'll have
funny
me.
now that I'm
gonna
gonna
do you.
I'm gonna obnoxiously one day have you record a few intros because you really are golden. You're stern. Like I sat with Brody, I closed my eyes and I said, "That's stern." You know, like
Listen, Tom, my rate will be so much higher by then. I'm not sure you'll be able to, but because, ladies and gentlemen, guess how much I got paid for this appearance? $-
Oh wait, actually, they didn't give you half the door, or that was.
No, I'm talking about this podcast.
Oh, this podcast? Yeah, you're losing cash on this. Oh, you're losing cash.
No.
This is Friday
No.
morning, prime time. You should be gassing up for something. Yeah.
I love talking with you, and also if you'll have me back soon, I want to do my Tom Kelly impression.
Deal. So,
I'm gonna work on it.
lady, Matt, plug the socials for the for my older
Yes.
friends who listen to this.
Yes, everybody. Well, I know you guys, your followers probably want to find me on Truth Social or Parler, but I'm not on those apps.
No.
So I am on. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Matt Friend.
Last one that I've been thinking all day. You must get the Golden Girl theme sung to you all the time because I've been wanting to say, thank you for being my friend. On my podcast, he'll be back again. He's really good. He's a pal and a confidant. Have you ever gotten that?
What? Okay, no. However, it's funny because now people are realizing my last name is Friend because my old social media handles were Matterday Night Live. And I changed it recently.
Yeah, and that's probably smart, right? Why did you make the change?
A few different reasons. I mean, number one, I didn't want people calling me Matterday anymore. Number two, I mean, you know, SNL is the dream. It's a goal. And whether it happens or who knows if it does or whatever, I think it's just it would be a good look.
There are rumors, my friend, of people who have turned down Saturday Night Live after achieving the amount of success I think you're on the brink of achieving on your own.
Well, thank you. I will say, Paul Giamatti. Oh, yes! I just had to bring out a Paul Giamatti. Anyways, because it happens out of nowhere. Oh, yes. I appreciate the kind word. How about how I have to accept a compliment by reverting into a Paul Giamatti?
I've actually noticed that. That seems to be when I've actually, here's where you could tell every time I've asked a heartfelt question is you go into an impression. Is that your defense mechanism?
It just might be, especially sexually, for sure.
Have you yelled at an impression in bed?
Let me ask you something. I mean, if I were to, though, which do you think? I think Howard would probably be the most powerful, right? I would have to go with Howard, or Will Arnett, theoretically.
Okay, I would say your powerful one was your Paul Giamatti. It would be known as a climax.
Will Arnett would be fun too, though.
Yeah, how would Will Arnett sound in bed?
You gonna stroke my butthole? You gonna finger me? What's happening? I don't know. It's crazy. A lot of fun doing Will. Welcome to Smartless. Our new feature voice is Tom Kelly. Sean Hayes, Bateman, me, and Kelly. What a squad.
What about Howard Stern in bed?
Eh.
That's it. That's all you need. All right. We're ending the damn podcast here. Good night, New York.